Welcome to the Growing Food and Feeding People podcast. Whether you're a backyard gardener, a market gardener, or a small-scale farmer just starting out or a seasoned grower, this show is for you. Join us as we share tips and tricks, tactics and hacks for growing food for yourself, your family, and your community, as well as sharing stories here from the field and other growers and farmers making a difference in their local food webs. My name is Cody, and I will be your host, so let's get growing. All right, welcome back to the Growing Food and Feeding People podcast. Happy Friday, y'all. We were actually able to get out in the garden this week. There were a couple nice days. It looks like we may get rain for a couple days here, but it was nice to get out there, be prepping beds, be getting some stuff planted. Now, when I say stuff, I don't mean any of our warm weather crops yet, and really not many of our cold weather crops. I've got the majority of our crops started inside and under the lights, but outside I did plant some carrots, and I also planted some cover crops to give a few of the beds a boost for the season. And that kind of leads right into what we're going to talk about. And this is actually our next episode in our companion planting series. And in this episode, it is going to be all about companion planting and the benefits to the soil. We're going to go over a comprehensive list of 5 combos that'll directly improve the soil in your garden during season. And we're also going to talk about 5 cover crops that are great for the garden and specific combos for specific times of the year. So this should be a good one, guys. I'm not going to waste too much time here. We're going to jump right into it. Because I think if I was to ask any of you, do you want to improve the health of your garden soil? The answer would probably be yes. Well, the solution might be simpler than you think. And by using the right companion planting techniques, you can actually help restore and enhance the soil in your garden. And in this video, we're going to explore the benefits of companion planting specifically for soil health, and we're going to go over a handful of plant combos that can help improve your soil. So grab those gardening gloves and get ready to learn how companion planting can give your garden soil a boost. We all know that soil health is the foundation of any successful garden, and companion planting can play a vital role in restoring and enhancing the health of your soil. Now, in fact, some plants have the ability to improve the soil's texture, structure, nutrient content, and water holding capacity. So let's talk about 5 plant combinations that can help improve your soil in the garden. Now, the first combo we're going to talk about is your legumes and brassicas. See, now we've talked about legumes earlier in the season, your beans and your peas. They're nitrogen-fixing plants that can have the ability to convert atmospheric nitrogen into a form that can be used by plants. Now, brassicas, such as your broccoli, cabbage, kale, they have a high nutrient requirement, especially for nitrogen. And by planting these 2 types of plants together, you can improve the soil's nitrogen content and structure. So, for instance, this year, I'm going to be planting bush beans along with my broccoli. Now, the second combo we're going to talk about, and the reason I'm jumping on this one, is because I was out in the garden this week working. I've been planning out some changes and some improvements we want to make this year, and one of those is adding some more fruit trees, specifically out by the market garden. So, of course, companion planting doesn't just stop with your veggies, right? So the second combo that we're going to talk about is comfrey and fruit trees. Now, comfrey is a nutrient-rich plant that has deep roots that can help break up compacted soil and bring nutrients up from deeper layers. Now, planting comfrey around the base of the fruit trees can help improve the soil's nutrient content, structure, and the water holding capacity. So comfrey is definitely a companion I'm going to be using with the fruit trees we plant out there, and I think I may even put some out around the fruit trees we have in the front yard here. Now, the third combo we're going to get into is clover and corn. Now, clover is another nitrogen-fixing plant, as you know, that can help improve the soil's nitrogen content. And planting clover with corn not only help enhance the soil's nutrient content, but it can also help control the weeds and the pests. You know, corn is a real heavy feeder, especially of nitrogen. So much like the beans will do for the brassicas, the clover will do the same thing for the corn. It'll essentially help feed the soil, feed the corn, while the corn's growing. So I will be underplanting clover with my sweet corn this year. Now, number 4 on the list is pretty interesting, and one you probably don't hear of much in the garden, especially the market garden. But it's actually a great combination, and that is alfalfa and carrots. See, alfalfa is also a deep-rooted plant that can help break up the compacted soil and improve the water holding capacity, which is pretty essential for carrots. You know, they need a good loose soil to grow in. And hopefully if you're prepping your beds, you're growing carrots in a pretty good loose soil. But by planting alfalfa with carrots, it can help enhance the soil's nutrient content and structure and can help deter the pests and improve the flavor of the carrots. So I'm actually planting rows of alfalfa in between my rows of carrots. Now the fifth one on the list, and I've actually talked about this combination before a couple other times, and it'll probably pop up on a couple other lists because it's that good. But when we're talking about benefits to the soil, it wouldn't be right if we didn't include marigolds and tomatoes, because marigolds are known, of course, for their ability to repel pests and even act as a trap crop for certain pests. But they also repel nematodes, which are microscopic worms that can damage the plant roots. Now, planting marigolds with tomatoes can actually help control the pests and improve the soil's nutrient content, structure, and the water holding capacity as well again. And I think a lot of times when we're thinking about what the flowers do as far as a companion, we really don't consider what they're actually doing for the soil benefits as well. So marigolds and tomatoes is definitely on the list. And marigolds is probably in my top 3 favorites of all my plants to companion plant with, because they're so versatile and they have so many benefits. So those are 5 companion planting combos that can benefit your soil during the season while you're growing, and definitely one of the companion planting strategies that I'm implementing right here on the farm. And just another reason why I'm doing this entire series on companion planting. I think a lot of people overlook just all of the specific and unique benefits that comes from planting specific plants with one another. It's not always this or that. Sometimes it's this and that, right? So now I'm going to go over 5 popular cover crops if you're looking for just a plain cover crop to improve your beds that can help build the soil health in your market garden or your garden. And then I'm also going to give you specific combinations for specific times of the year and why you'd want to do that. So the first cover crop on the list, and this one's already been brought up earlier, but that's crimson clover. Now, as I said, clover is a cover crop that's known for its ability to fix nitrogen, which can improve the soil fertility. But it's also great for weed suppression and can add organic matter to the soil. So it's kind of a win-win-win when it comes to clover. And again, why I'm using it in several areas around the garden. Now the second one on the list is winter rye. And winter rye is a hardy cover crop that can tolerate colder temperatures. So it is excellent for building soil organic matter. It can help prevent soil erosion. Now the third one on the list is buckwheat. And buckwheat is a fast-growing cover crop that can be planted in the summer. It has deep tap roots that can help break up the compacted soil, and as a huge bonus, it actually attracts pollinators and beneficial insects. The nice thing about buckwheat is it'll die off with the frost. That's why if you plant it in the summer, it can die off before it seeds out. You don't want to plant it too early, because if it goes to seed, then you're going to have a lot of buckwheat. And that's pretty much the deal for any of these cover crops. You don't want to let them go to seed, because then they're not going to be any better than a weed. They're going to be hard to handle and more of a hindrance than a help. But if you can utilize them and kill them off before they go to seed, they're fantastic. Now the fourth one on the list is hairy vetch. Hairy vetch is also a legume that can fix nitrogen, just like your beans and peas and your clover, which can improve the soil fertility. And hairy vetch also provides good weed suppression and can add more organic matter to the soil. Now number 5 is the daikon radish. Now the daikon radish is also known as a tillage radish, because this is a cover crop that has deep tap roots that can help break up compacted soil. It can also help scavenge nutrients from deeper down in the soil and bring it up to the surface where they can benefit other crops. Additionally, the decaying roots can create channels in the soil for water and air to penetrate, improving the soil structure. So the daikon radish is fantastic as a cover crop for improving your soil. So there's 5 cover crops that can help improve your soil in your garden. So now I'm going to go over 3 companion planting cover crop combinations and when they should be planted. Now the first one is your spring planting, and that would be peas and oats. Now peas and oats add nitrogen and add biomass. Plant in early spring, and then both of them will flower at the same time in early June, and they're easy to knock down, smother, and rake out before the seeds are out. Great way to prep a bed. And that's actually one I'm utilizing right now. Now, the second one is your summertime blend. Now, for summertime, if you've got a bed or a block of beds that you're prepping for the next year, or you're letting rest and really trying to improve the soil, you can plant in the summer blend, and that's sorghum, Sudan grass, and sun hemp. Now these are great when you're looking for a soil builder that pumps carbon into the soil and will die off with the first frost and be ready to plant into the next spring. But they also create a lot of biomass if you're wanting to create some of that for some animals or for composting. They can be grazed on to increase the production. Now the third one is your fall blend. And for the fall blend, I'm going with peas, oats, and the forage radish, or the daikon radish, right? The tillage radish. We'll add nitrogen to the soil, open up deep channels with deep tap roots, and break up the compaction and improve the drainage and the tilth. So if you plant this in early September, they will also winter kill. So that's a great combination for fall. Now number 4, I think I said maybe 3, but there are 4 seasons. So number 4, so for your winter blend, you can plant winter rye and crimson clover. Now the rye catches the nutrients and builds biomass, and the clover is nitrogen fixing into the soil. So you'll want to seed this mid-fall and knock down and kill it late spring, and your bed should be ready to go. So there you go, guys. There's a comprehensive list of 5 companion planting combinations to help build your soil in the veggie garden, along with 5 cover crops that we're using right here on the farm, as well as a 4-season cover cropping combos to help get your soil right. So hopefully you can take 1 or 2 of those companion planting combos, use them in your garden to help benefit your soil, get it up to snuff so you can grow a little more food and feed more people. As a quick reminder, guys, there's a link down in the description if you want to take advantage of jumping on a quick 20-minute call with me so I can help answer any questions you might have about getting your garden planned out this season, or maybe give you some solutions to some challenges you faced last season. So be sure to take advantage of that. This is the time of year where you're going to get the most out of it, and I've specifically set aside a few hours a week to fill up those 20-minute slots to help you guys. So links down in the description. If you are getting value out of this, again, as always, rate or review the podcast, whatever platform you're on. If you're listening to this on YouTube, make sure to give us a big old like and tell 3 of your friends. Hopefully the weather's going to be all right this weekend where you're at, so you can get out in the garden, get your hands dirty. Don't forget to make somebody smile, and we'll see you on the next one.